So, hello everyone, welcome to my video, and I'm very glad to share that I have made this artificial intelligence based fraud management system on my own from scratch till this professional level. Okay, and now the system can take decision on its own. I mean, I have trained the system in such a way that it will take decisions. So quickly we will go and learn from the earlier video and presentation I made to build this AI based FM system. Seriously, at that time it was just an idea, and I showed you the initial formation of alerts and how they look like. Okay, let me show you first. Okay, so um this is the recording of the last video. I will quickly show you that there is a main alert in the screen. You can see that is a summarized destination calling usage alert. That is one of the rule, and there will be a sub alert which will be AI based, AI generated, and it will analyze the alert also. So if we for a sample view, if I we can see that in a summarized destination calling usage alert, which is a traditional based alert. I mean, it is a threshold based alerts after some minutes of calling for particular destination or caller number wise, some duration is there, so it will fire. So like this one, the Cuba threshold is of 200 minutes have been breached, and you can see that alert has been fired for summarized destination calling usage alert. But what I at that time, what I propose that it will there, you can see screen that there will be AI generated sub alerts that will contain the analysis that dear user, the exceeded 100 minutes in a single day, this number, caller number, and there is a 90% chance of fraud, and here are the detail of all the records. So something like this, I at that time, this was a manual code that I made that time, and for presentation purpose I showed it some scenarios, and I briefed it right now. Okay. Okay. So let's summarize the whole blueprint very quickly. Uh, as I told you, you can see on screen now that machine learning is problematic when data is huge, or in layman language, we can say very large number of columns are there. We can say in millions, and also feature selection is manual, which should be automatic like in AI or deep learning. Okay, so next slide. So AI or deep learning are learning algorithms. I already told you in earlier video that are mimicking the working of the brain. So that was the main idea behind that. Okay, so I told also the that last time that biological neuron is the smallest unit of the brain. So in computer language, it is called perceptron, and we can say that this artificial neural network is is based on that only. So equation of a straight line. Also, last time I've explained before. Here also for single parameter, we can say that when single parameter is x, so it becomes y is equal to wx plus b, where w is the weight and b is the weight of the additional neuron that we have added, that is x naught, and whose is equal to 1, so 1 into b. And also if we have multiple parameter, as we can see x1, x2, x3, you know the parameters uh, affecting the y, that is y is our predicted variable. So the equation will become w1 x1 plus w2 x2 plus w3 x3 plus b. So this is the additional neuron that we have added, x naught. We have to update the weights, that is b, to fine tune our model. So this is the basic thing is in ANN. in artificial neural network, you just go back from this activation and integration and activation function and update the weights, and you got some accuracy. So this is how you fine tune your ANN model. Okay, so let's go ahead. Okay, so we can leave the slide because this is our ANN. So this is, yeah. So to train the INN model, I already told you that there are some fraud patterns that I have given to the INN model and fraud labels corresponding, so that the system will learn that these are the fraud patterns, and then the system will analyze and identify and take decision accordingly. Okay. And already told you that this is a AI based response system that I have designed, or you can say, uh, yeah. So you can say also that this is a Python code that I have made in such a way that it will generate the system analyzed uh, sub alerts, or we can say AI based fraud alerts, as I showed you earlier, with fraud probability. So what's benefit is that these sub alerts will have details and the fraud score, fraud probability, you can say, which will assist the on-duty fraud analyst with AI-based recommendation and reducing the workload up to 70%, because it will already, I told you that it has fraud analysis and fraud probability. So some checks that that fraud analysts have to make, it will elaborate, the system will already analyze and will elaborate that in the alert itself. So also critical fraud scenario, sorry, the system will take action on behalf of analysts, like automated barring for some like overlapping call scenario or parallel call scenario. Told you that in PBX hacking it is being most commonly used. So system will take some automated barring and take action on behalf of analyst. So this is all about system action versus analyst action. So yeah, okay. So it took me uh, around about more than 2 weeks, and 15-16 hours per day to achieve this. uh, a lot of fine tuning, adjusting neural network with weights, neurons, and removing and adding layers using different algorithms. But hard work always pays, and it has paid till, yeah, to me. And let's go to the production part and quickly see the how the things are going on. Okay. Let Okay, so yeah, this is the our main code, and our fraud model AI based. So what I have done is, initially, that I have put some records in the system. Out of these records, you can see here the rows and columns. 95 and 90 is the rows, 5 is the column count. So out of these records, there are some fraud records that I have trained the system on that, and particularly on that records, as per system, you can see here that some fraud has been declared. So according to these patterns, system will take action, and it is trained in such a way that similar patterns to this, the system will automatically dispose as a fraud or non-fraud, and on also will generate a fraud probability, as we discussed. So yeah, basically, the module that I will run right now is, uh, before that I want to show you that result on your screen. The this let me show you. Don't angry me, just give me a sec. I will show you. So you can see here the beast is ready with 95% of training accuracy and 94% of the testing accuracy. So what I told you, know, I have give the system training on this CSV file that I have fetched it into the system. So this file, according to this file, there are some fraud records that system knows now. You can see here in this CSV file what 90 records are there. Out of 90, some I believe 27 or 28 records are fraudulent. I will tell you, every time you made some fraud model or any prediction model, the minimum requirement is 70 and 30. So 70 you have to train your model as a non-fraud, and you have to give 30% of fraud records to the model, so that model will differentiate between the both. So this is the minimum requirement. But the good thing is that and good practice is that you always have to give more fraud records, fraud patterns, so that system will analyze it very easily. So this is the best practice. But I have just given a threshold of 30% because I want to test how well it can perform. So yeah, so that's why I have given the minimum requirement. So now we will go to the production part, and we'll run the code. So we will run the code for the main alerts as well as this one. I mean fraud main alerts, and also the AI based fraud alerts, sub alerts will be fired for same. So okay, let me run this code right now in front of you. This is a very long code, but it will take time, but I will. Yeah. So you can see here it starts running, and let's go to the email uh, part where we will receive the alerts and we will analyze. Okay. Okay. So here are we on our Gmail, and if I see the code, it's still running because it's a very long code, and I will tell you, it will check for the model that we have made, the NN model. And what I have taken, you can see here, I have taken the probability of greater than 90%. Why? Because it is a requirement of every AI based system that at least accuracy should be more than 90%. So only more than 90% uh, where fraud probability will be there, those alerts will be coming to us with the system analysis as well. So let's wait and watch till the alert comes on our email window. Firstly, we will be seeing the results here only. Also, in the meanwhile, I will tell you that the CDR already I told you was this one on which the system has been trained, and these are the cal records which I have. This is the new fresh records, and on which the analysis will be done by the system. So yeah, they are being fetched, and as per fraud probability, the system will dispose them as fraud and non-fraud, and will make alerts. So there are different two different CSV files. One is we call it as a training set, on which system has been trained, and now, or as a test set, we have used a new file. We can because this is a real time scenario. Fraud alerts are on generated on real time basis. So here also I have connected to the SQL Server DB database, and this query is fetching data over from there, and it is the same Excel file that I showed you right now. These are the records that that DB contains. Okay, so we will wait for the email alert generation, which will be happening anytime now. Also, I will show you that where our ANN model lies here in this code. You can see here, use the ANN model here. This is our model. This model has been initiated in, beginning here. This one, this function predict fraud is having that ANN model that is already above in this code. So we are using that model and to generate probability for the fresh records that is being fetched right now from SQL server, and system will generate alerts as per fraud score, or we can say fraud probability, with the fraud disposition of fraud versus non-fraud. It's a very heavy code, I must say, I have to say, I mean, so that's why, it's going through a process because a lot of, I will show you, I will explain this, I have time to explain you all, but there are a lot of things that you have to transform. Firstly, you have to transform into the end model that take into only float values. So even you have to, this min max killer is there to normalize the data. So there are a number of things that you have to done, we have to do, I mean, to normalize the data and then make predictions so that everything process will go smoothly. Okay. Okay, so just a sec. Yeah. Okay. So fine. Finally, I told you, hard works always pay. You can see here the records has been processed and fraud alert sent successfully. We can quickly go to the window. So this is sorry. This is the calling usage alert. I mean, these are the traditional alerts. So these are main alerts. See, yeah. Again, second rule. This is also main alert. Summarize destination usage alert for country Cuba. Okay. So also now you can see here. Wow, what a beauty! In a split second, model is fraud model, AI based model is generating fraud alerts. And let the Python script run. Then we will check and analyze. It keeps increasing. You know. Yeah. We can see the status right now as it is running live in front of you. See, whenever fraud disposition is not fraud, no alert will form, but whenever fraud percentage is, I already told you over 90, the fraud alert will form. So it will printing also here, and it is generating the alerts also here you can see. Wow, what a beauty. AI generated, it's increasing in count and still going on. So let's check now with our main traditional alerts that are threshold based, like this one. If I show you, so this number has called Latvia premium rate destination with some 251 minutes. Okay, and I will tell you also that call start time and end time is there, but overlapping call is not there. Overlapping call is zero, means there is no overlapping call, because we can see here in previous start time and end time NAT no values are there. So if the overlapping calls, one call has not ended, another call started, the overlapping call value will be one. That is extreme scenario that will I will show you later. So let's get back and let's take this one only, summarize destination. So this is a cumulative threshold for a country. You can see in the subject line, country Cuba. These are all calls to Cuba. Cuba has a threshold of 200 minutes cumulative threshold. So you can see here, dear user, fraud alert. In this alert, 9 calls has been found in suspected scenario to Cuba, with a total of 615 minutes. So if we add all these minutes, this is 615 minutes. That is depicting over here. as per the alert analysis, and here are the details of the record. You can see here there's some calls have previous start time and end time. It means there is multiple calls but no overlapping call. Because overlapping call was there, I told you the value would have been 1. So yeah, see, this is the automation I have done, that the system is also counting the calls, and some of destination they are writing off in alert as well for the on duty. So is the on duty analyst, I have done this automation. But let's check these AI generated alerts. So what is the difference between them here? Okay, so dear user, firstly, you can see that P1 priority 1. So as soon as fraud analyst ongoing on duty fraud analyst will see, it will come to open these alerts and work on these alerts, because this is priority 1. So the I told you 70% workload will be gone because of this or these automations. And if the decision analysis is, dear user, the number fraud alert, the number this one has been found in suspected scenario to Guinea Bissau and labeled as fraud. See, system has disposed as fraud. I told you. This is totally AI based decisions. There are 0.95 95% chance of fraud. Here are the details of the record. So you can see that there is a score. You can say fraud probability, percentage, and then the disposition is also fraud. That is 1. Okay, so this is the so similarly, for comparison, we can say that, if I already, this was calling usage alert. This was a, traditional base alert, 251 minutes to Latvia premium rate. So premium rate are sorry, very expensive calls. So what is the this is a traditional alert, so there is no analysis. But for same number ending with 24334, you can see this is live scenario. 24334 AI fraud alert. AI has generated the analysis and score. So what it is saying, dear user, this number has been found in suspected scenario to Latvia premium rate and labeled as fraud. There is 100% chance of fraud. Here are details of the record. You can see same 251 minutes Latvia premium rate. Wow, what a beauty! I told you in a split second it is working. Why? Because I have trained the model in such a way that I now I tell you that in earlier records, if some Latvia destination is there, or similar call frames are there, like this call start time and time and durations, so system will analyze and make a similar. If he found a similar pattern, then it will assign fraud probability. And if this pattern is similar, and like this Latvia, Somalia, Cuba, all are high risk destination. System knows that. Even if some call will make to another high risk destinations, so it will place it accordingly and give a high fraud probability rather than the low risk destinations. Okay, so this was a good analysis between the two similar numbers, between the simple alert and the AI based analysis alert. So let me show more example if we have right now. Yeah, you can see now if we go for any of the alerts, if some summarized, yeah, there are some summarized also. I told you, no. So you can see here all the Cuba. If I go on, like this 24348 250 minutes to Cuba, 24 ending with 24347 100 minutes to Cuba, 347348. Let's see, 348 is there, right? Bingo. So what is saying? Yeah, see, 251 minutes to Cuba. Dear user, for alert, the number has been found in suspected scenario to Cuba and labeled as fraud. There is 100% chance of fraud. You can see probability is more than 99%. So here there is 100% chance of fraud. So what a beauty. I told you why there is so much high frequency for Cuba, and why system is disposing it as a fraud. Because let me show you all. The answer lies here only. This is simple maths. All the algorithm, all the data science is all about maths. and we have to build relation between our x and y. X is our input data, y is our output data, I mean predictions. So if I come here, I will show you. Just wait a second, don't angry on me. See, these are the four records na, for Bulgaria, Emerset satellite. These are premium rate numbers, and very very high expensive calls. So also here you can see that in trigger frauds, at trigger frauds, there is Cuba is mainly there, and Guinea Bissau. These destinations are there. So this is, if any alert will fire for Cuba or Guinea Bissau, there would have been chance of higher probability, higher fraud disposition, or higher fraud score, because system has already these records. It will compare the these, I already told you, these time frames, call start time, end time, duration, similar minutes, calling patterns, same destination, Cuba, Guinea Bissau, or these like these. That's why this Cuba, you can see in any alert right now, AI generated, the Cuba will having the more probability, because it is in the fraud patterns that the system has been trained upon. So if we take any one example more, let's go with this one, 367. Okay, so this is something Bolivia. So I told you na, if some another high risk destination is there, even 6 minutes calling is placed on around about 98%, I mean 99% chance of fraud. So and exposed as fraud. So bang bingo on target. you know the system, because the algorithm is designed in such a way that it is very much capable of finding the similar patterns, and then take the analysis further, and generate a score that I have made the code that in such a way that it will generate the fraud score, as I already told you. And we will see some more examples, like we can see here. Okay, so we can open any of the any one number like this only. Bulgaria mobile, oh my god, so you can see here 1353 minutes. 1353 minutes I don't know how much calling is there. Is excessive calling. So this is 100% chance of fraud. I mean, more than 99% is 100% chance of fraud. Already system has disposed it as fraud. So this was my point. I told you, you made some system. You have to build their artificial neural network, uh, and you have to train the system on some fraud patterns, and you have to fine tune your system. Just go back. I told you, and update the weights, and there are, then you have to fine tune the neurons and layers, so that system will make good predictions. And when you got accuracy I told you, 95 94 is the testing and training accuracy. So system is judging very effectively, very very effectively. So this one, yeah, I showed already. So here the comparison has been made, and I will show you one more example module that I have made. This is of overlapping calls, that is very high. This one, AI based FM system overlapping call alert, in which, okay, let me show you. Okay, just give me it. Okay, so yeah, as I was explaining before, so this is a overlapping call alert. Um and I have to run this Python script. You know, Again, you can see here I have given the threshold of more than 70%. It's a very high scenario, suspected scenario of overlapping calls alert. But at least I want that 70%. So that's why even 70%, more than 70%, I have to consider. Okay, so let me run this code. Here I have already given the command, and you can see here the code is running, and we will be having our alerts here only. So yeah, let me delete all these alerts. I already explained these alerts to you. Okay. Also, yeah, let this code run. Last time also I told you that the phase two I will be planning that I will be incorporating the unsupervised machine learning, which is clustering based, and which divides the clusters by similarity. So similarly, overlapping calls were there, or some summarized destination calling usage under different fraud labels with similarity, like this one, call two records, call three, four, some for some labels. So it will make similar patterns and make we can check those reports as well. You know, so this will be a phase two, and right now we are waiting for our overlapping call alert. Again, this is a very complex code. Again, a lot of transformation has to done till alert formation. Also, I want to tell you, I have designed this code in such way that if there are overlapping calls that has been system disposing as fraud. So for that, this AI generated alert will fire. But if there are records, one is if there is two records, for example, and one record is disposed as non-fraud and one is fraud, then the by default this will fire. You can see the else code here. So the main alert will fire, but it will contain both the analysis. I mean the analysis and the percentage and the disposition was will be there. So okay, just we can just wait till the alert come, and I believe it's will come anytime now. And I thank you all, every technical and non-technical audience, to have faith in me, and you have always given positive reviews for my earlier projects as well. And this is the momentum that I have built in a positive way to keep trying, uh, and till the results, positive results will come. You have to give your best. Okay, so let's go to the email box and wait for the alert. We can check the status also. It should be coming right now, anytime now. Similar AN model, that I showed you earlier, is here also, who is making the probabilities and labels. That is, declared in beginning of the script, like this only. But there was 90% of probability that I have taken, more than 90% of probability. Here it is 70%. So okay, so as you can see, the record have started showing. Oh wow, see, it is printed, in the editor as well. Fraud probability 98%, 99%, and we can go to the email window now. So this is totally AI based generated alerts for overlapping calls. Okay, for if I check this for Angola, 99% chance for Angola, and similarly for this has been chance of 97%. So you can see here, now I will explain what is the automation that when on duty fraud analyst will see this. Dear user, fraud alert. The number this one has been found in an overlapping or parallel call scenario to Latvia and labeled as fraud. This was initially when I draft this blueprint for this AI based FM system. So I want to label this is totally system made disposition as fraud, and there is 98% chance of fraud. Also, for precaution, outgoing calls have been barred by sending barring commands, and a message has been sent to the mobile number to contact this and this. Here are the details of the record. You can see here call start time. First call start time, previous call start time was 6:04 a.m. till 10:27 a.m. And before the end time of this 10:24 the another call started. So what a beauty, system has identified firstly the overlapping call, generated fraud probability that is 97% and disposed as fraud. So what was telling you similarly that when this AI bus response system is just like in a split second is saving workload up to 70% of on-duty fraud analysts, because fraud analysis and fraud probability is being given. And additionally automated operating system, standard operating system has been taken by the AI. So AI is the future, guys, believe me. I don't know how I was able to pull these things, but till now, I have pulled, and it's a beautiful thing. Similarly, for this one, 99% chance. Again, overlapping calls and for fraud disposition as fraud. So, yeah, this was the scenarios that I want to discuss with you all, and I have discussed. So,
Let me, tell me something more. As you can see, I told you, that there is 99% probability for this one overlapping call. The CDR's call records has been trained in system in such a way, but there is another thing that system is analyzing. That is the destination. You can see here Angola for this alert, and for this alert, this is Latvia. So let me show you the overlapping calls fraud that I have trained this ANN model. So here you can see in your screen, you see Angola and Latvia are the only countries fraud in fraud CDR that has been detected at that time, and the system was being told and trained in such a way that this scenario again comes. So that's why system has given so much high probability. The system is working absolutely perfect and understanding the things own, because whatever they are disposed as fraud and the system is being trained upon, the same thing again happening. The AI system AI is generating the fraud alerts with higher probability, and with the automation also you can bar the sending command, barring commands, and this is additional that I just elaborated. Okay.
I believe I have explained the things very easily, and I always take the things very simple in presentation to understand concept very precisely and effectively. So, guys, this is Akhil Singh Rawat, and I'm signing off. So please take care and have fun. Okay, bye bye.